Hi, my name is Ethan and I work at Newman Medical Equipment as a delivery driver and service technician. Today I'm going to be going through and explaining how to use portable and stationary oxygen. Okay, here we've got examples of both portable and stationary oxygen. The tank here is going to be in the cart, which allows you to be able to carry the tank around, and that's going to be your portable method of oxygen. The machine that I've got here is your stationary concentrator. The stationary concentrator is going to be your method of oxygen primarily while you're in the home. And then the tank will be what you take out with you if you go anywhere and can't take the concentrator with you. Okay, here we're going to take a closer look at the control settings of the concentrator. The first thing that you'll want to note here is that most all of your controls are going to be over here. We've got one right here which we'll discuss here in just a moment.
Make sure to plug the concentrator into a wall outlet, not an extension cord or surge protector.
Your first function that you'll use is your on switch. You'll just push the switch on, and then you'll see a display of lights and hear a short tone. But then after the startup process has ended, you'll be left with this green light, indicating that your machine is functioning properly. If at any point after the initial startup process, any of these other colored lights come on, it'll either be a yellow or a red light. What you would do is you would give us a call, and we've got our phone number posted on a couple different locations on the machine on the silver stickers. From here, after you've got the initial startup process finished and you've got your green light on, the next thing that'll direct your attention to is your flow meter. This apparatus is how you control how much oxygen the machine will be giving you. So we've got this knob up here at the top of the tube with all the numbers, and when you turn this knob, it will adjust where that little ball is sitting. And whatever number that little ball is sitting next to is going to be the amount of liters of oxygen that you're getting per minute from the machine. So for instance, if your doctor's orders prescribed you to be at 2 liters of oxygen per minute, you would turn this knob until your flow meter is displaying 2 liters per minute of oxygen. Next we'll go on to the reset switch above the power switch. There is a surge protector built into this machine. If the machine detects a power surge, it's going to shut the entire machine down, and you'll just have to come in and press a button that will be sticking out. You just press it back in, and that should allow you to resume using the machine. Okay, once you've got your concentrator turned on and set to the correct liter flow, the next thing that you'll want to do is attach some tubing. Now we've got this metal nozzle here right in the middle of the front of the machine, and that's where the tubing is going to plug into. It just plugs in by pushing it onto the nozzle. You don't have to twist or turn or anything like that, just press it right on there. So once you've got your tubing attached and all set up, the next thing you'll want to keep in mind about the machine is you've got an intake filter on the side of it here. Not all of the concentrator units that we have external filters. Some of them only operate on an internal filter, but some of our models will have a foam external filter, kind of like what you see here. We recommend after about a week or two that you guys check the filters to make sure that they're not gathering any particulates such as hair or dust or anything like that. If they are beginning to gather dust and things like that, what you'll do is you'll pinch and pull the filter completely out of the machine. At this point you can take and wash this under a faucet and get all the dust and hair out of it and things like that, but then once you've done that, you can just stick it right back into the machine. Make sure it's wrung out and not oversaturated with water when you put it back into the machine, of course. But yeah, that's the intake filter, and it's going to prevent the internals of the machine from becoming dirty and things like that. So. And now we're going to review the tubing, and this is going to be most of the oxygen tubing that you'll receive with the rest of your equipment here. So as far as the tubing is concerned, I've got extension tubing, which is going to be the green tubing here. It comes in 2 different lengths, which we'll discuss in here in just a moment. And then I'll also have cannulas, which is going to be the actual nose tubing that you'll wear in your nostrils. And then we've also got some swiveling connectors. Now the swiveling connectors are meant to go in between every length of tubing that you connect to the machine, assuming you're using more than just a cannula. So if you wanted extra reach from the concentrator to get to a different room in the house but still have the oxygen, you can connect enough tubing to get you to those places. The green tubing comes in a 25-foot length and a 10-foot length, which I've got here. You can use any combination of the tubing that you're supplied. And like I said, in between every length you'll use one of these connectors. I'll go ahead and open one just to show you exactly how they connect. Here I've got a 25-foot length of our green extension tubing, and to connect a connector to it, you'll take the Swiveling Connector and just press it right into the end of the tubing that you would like to connect more to. So we've got the connector in the green extension tubing. The next step would be to grab the next length of tubing that you want to connect. In this case, I've got a 7-foot cannula. The cannula just plugs into the other end of the connector. And now I'll go ahead and show you how to correctly put on a cannula. So you've actually got the nose piece here. If you look at the cannula from the side, you'll notice that they've got a slight curve to the fingers coming off the nose piece. You always want to make sure that the curve, always when you put the cannula on, you want to make sure that those curves point at you as you put them on. Again, if you look at them from the side, they've got a slight curve to them. So when I put the cannula on, I'll make sure that those curves are pointing at me, and then place the tubes in my nostrils. At this point, we'll take and put the rest of the tubing over the tops of your ears, and then you'll have some tubing hanging below your chin down at your neck. You've got a little white hard plastic piece that you can pull up, and it will actually tighten the fit of the cannula, make it a little harder for it to fall off while you sleep or if you're moving. But yeah, that's how you put on a cannula and attach tubing. Next, we're going to go through and explain how to use the portable method of oxygen, in this case, an e-tank. Every new tank that we dispense to you as a patient will have a white plastic seal on it. And to break that, all I did was stick my finger through the loop and pull out. But you can throw this away after you're done with it. Next, we're going to search all sides of the top of the tank up here for one side that has 3 holes. You'll have one large opening here up at the top of the tank, and then you'll have 2 small openings just below it. Next, I'm going to show you your regulator. And this is going to be an accessory that will go with your portable oxygen, your tanks. But I'm going to go through and show you a couple different things that you want to be familiar with on the regulator. So the first and foremost, the easiest feature to distinguish on the regulator is the gauge. After you've got the regulator attached to the tank, that's going to show you your pressure, reading on the tank. It'll show you how much oxygen is left. If we turn the regulator on its side here, and we're looking at its belly now, you've got your nozzle, which is where the tubing will connect to. And then you've also got 2 silver teeth inside of the regulator. Those are important to keep note of as well. And then lastly, you've got a knob here on the side of the regulator, which is going to allow you to control how much oxygen the tank will be giving you. So if your doctor has prescribed you to receive 2 liters of oxygen per minute, you would turn this knob until you see your 2 displayed in the tiny window next to the knob. Once you find the side of your tank that has the 3 holes, you're going to look at your regulator again and find the 2 silver teeth. And then what we're going to do is we're going to wind up putting those silver teeth directly into the 2 small holes on this side of the tank. So what you'll do is you'll make sure that the teeth are going to be on the same side as those holes, and then drop the regulator down onto the nozzle of the tank. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this end of the regulator, the knob end of the regulator, into the nozzle of the tank. So that way the ends of the teeth will be on the side of the tank. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push up until those ends of the teeth slide right into the holes, just like that. From here, you can tighten your screw on your regulator, and once it's good and tight, your regulator is mounted to the tank. From here, you'll use this wrench that I've got here. It'll have some instructions printed on it, just in case you need a reminder on which direction to turn for on or off. But you'll take the wrench and attach it to the top of the tank, and then from here you'll turn it in the direction that it explains for on and off. And a quarter turn or a half turn is all that you need to turn it in order to ensure that the tank is open. Now that I've opened the tank, you'll notice that your needle on the gauge for the regulator has jumped up to 2000 psi, and that's a full tank. From here, after you're done using the tank, you'll just tighten it, but you can still feel and hear oxygen coming out of the regulator. But if you watch this gauge here, the needle will eventually arrive at the zero. Now what's happening here is it's taking just a couple of moments for the oxygen pressure built up inside of the regulator to vent out. But as soon as your needle gets down to zero, you can verify that your tank is off. Now that we've familiarized ourselves with the regulator, you'll be ready to attach your tubing. You'll take the end of your cannula here, and it will plug right onto the silver nozzle just below the flow meter knob on the regulator. Now that we've shown you how to properly use this equipment, it's important to keep in mind the heightened risk of fire while having this equipment in the home. If you have anything in the home that creates a visible, open, uncontained flame or sparks, you want to try to eliminate those from the home. Other things that you can do to increase fire safety is to keep up on your batteries and your smoke detectors and things like that. Next, we'll be reviewing the contents of your COVID-19 care kit provided to you through your emergency department. In the kit, we have a symptom log, we've got hand sanitizer, a fingertip pulse oximeter to monitor your oxygen saturations, a quick at-home test, some procedure masks, an oral thermometer, an incentive spirometer, and some sanitizing wipes. If there are any questions or concerns had, you can reach us at this number here posted on the silver round stickers all over the concentrator. Next business day, an associate will be coming out to further review any questions or concerns you might have regarding the equipment. Thank you for choosing us as your oxygen supplier.